Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor,
I'm Jorge.
I'm Alex.
and we are back for our Gran Turismo movie review. Jorge and I saw it Wednesday early screening in Dolby. Alex also got to see it early screening on Wednesday. However, not in Dolby, just standard format, I believe. Guys, this movie was amazing. Please tell me your general thoughts on this movie.
Well, I'll start. I think it was a great movie. To be like a racing movie, fantastic. I think it's top three racing cars movie for me.
Yeah.
So fun, visually astonishing. It captivates you. The sound design it's amazing. Like the essence that it has. The characters are not the most complex characters in the world,
Sure.
but they're pretty good. They work well with the story, with the movie, and the pacing of the movie is pretty good. I really like the pacing, and especially the visuals, the cinematography. They're all top tier. In general, it's a fantastic movie to watch. Very fun time to go by yourself, with friends, with family, whatever. But yeah, I really liked it. Really glad I'll watch it again with no problem at all. So fun. It kind of reminds me of Need for Speed, the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of similar in a way. Obviously, they have their differences, but so fun. So fun, yeah.
What about you, Alex?
For me, I was actually surprised by how good the movie was because going in, I was not really expecting it much. I thought it was gonna be like pretty decent, but overall, when I was watching the film, the movie had like a lot of heart to it. Some actually pretty good realism and talks, especially when they actually had like the actual actors actually learn the stunt driving and stuff like that for it, and including the person that the movie was basically about, since it's based on a true story, which really surprised me. But the actors, they did a good job for the performances. Again, it wasn't anything too outstanding, but it was actually pretty good. Where you feel related to them a bit and you understand the whole reasoning. So the plot was actually pretty good. But what really gave it like its edge and stuff wasn't like always with like the racing scene. That wasn't until like later on, like the third half, the middle of the film. But really, most about like more of like the heart and determination of the main character, Yan Martinborough, where it's basically about and just him in his love of driving and basically learning this from essentially video games into that's him becoming like one of the best racers in the circuit now.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree. I went into this not really knowing what to expect. Um, I was excited because it's another PlayStation Studios production, and as a lifelong PlayStation player, that just is right up my alley. Is something that I always will get excited for.
Nice.
So I was really going into it with no expectations, and it completely blew my mind. I think a lot of the technical sides of a film were applied here in a fantastic, top-notch way, as long with a lot of emotion, which was completely unexpected, and
So much heart.
yes, a lot
So
of
A
heart.
much
lot
heart.
of it, so
Yeah.
It
much.
was so unexpected. But I think the one of the biggest, if not the biggest highlight for me personally, was just the fact that this was actually like that this was a true story and that this
Yeah.
actually happened. Like the
It's
more I'm
crazy.
into it, um, it just kept. I just keep like I'm like, how did
Yeah.
this actually happen?
The more you get into the movie, the more it blows your mind that it
Exactly,
actually happened.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
It's
exactly what I was trying.
phenomenal.
Yes, so I really have nothing but positive things to say about this. I agree with you that there's not a lot of complex characters, but I don't think that's necessarily a big
Yeah. No.
negative
No.
because yeah, I think everything just works well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what ratings, guys? So I'll start. I gave this movie Gran Turismo a 9 out of 10.
Whoa. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
High praise right there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just really did think it was deserving for me, and I would have literally watched it again right after it ended. 100%.
Yeah. That's so much fun.
It was amazing.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I give it an 8. Again, like to me, an 8 is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest movie ever made, but to what it is, it works perfect. The story itself, it has so much heart, and it's something fun to watch, something different. Because it's based on a true story, and at the same time, it's kind of relatable, especially in modern times where a video game player gets to achieve their dream. In
Yeah.
reality, it's just like
Sure.
fantastic. So yeah, I give it an 8.
Alex, what about you? Rating?
Yeah, for me, I my rating was the same as Jorge. I gave it 8 out of 10 because, like, again, what really makes this movie so good is like the heart and emotion that it's trying, what the story is trying to tell, based on a true story about like a gamer becoming a professional race car driver. That's great, and its cinematography and its driving and scenes for driving was really good. But I don't think it was anything like too outstanding. Nothing like where it's like, Tom Cruise is actually like driving these vehicles at high speeds, or like Keanu Reeves in John Wick films driving vehicles. But the scenes of how they were showing the driving stuff was, I think, was still very well done. Very good praise, especially for the actors who were basically learning how to drive and stuff like that. But again, the driving scenes was like, it was good, not outstanding, but it was really good. But then when you got into the film later on, where you got to know more about the character and his determination and the emotion that you get into as you kind of go on this journey with him, it makes the scenes feel like more impactful, like when he gets into racing mode, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, with that being said, um, that is the end of our spoiler free side. From here on out, we will be getting to spoilers, into some details. If you haven't seen the movie yet, this is your warning. Please click off the video if you do not want it spoiled. Um, we're gonna get into some details here, but first we should definitely talk about the plot of this movie and its characters. Um, for me, I have to say a real standout in this was David Harbour, playing Jack Salter, basically the drivers in this GT Academy's coach, and eventually their chief in the cockpit, once they were in the actual, I guess, league or whatever it's called. I'm not good with racing terms, so I do apologize. But I think he gave so much life to the character, and really with his like kind of tragic past, gave it like his character just meant more.
Yeah.
That he was kind of living through Yan, when he was trying to help him succeed in this endeavor, because he was almost kind of living vicariously through him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just a real nice bond that they did there, between them two. But David Harbour in his scenes, with his kind of like standoffish, like, you guys can't do this, to eventually like being like a full believer, and basically like, you know being the one who vouches and desires, for these kids who come from sim racing to succeed, I thought was really powerful. So that was a real highlight for me. Yan, the actor who played Yan, I think did a great job. I really liked his voice and the way he went about it. I thought,
Deep voice.
yeah, deep voice, but I thought, I don't know, I really, really never seen him before, the actor, in anything else before, but I was a big fan of his from the first moment he's on screen. And yeah, that's I just had to get off my chest, that off my chest for characters. But what about you guys? You can go first.
Yeah, well, the story, pretty straightforward. So we find out, we follow the story of John, this kid from London. He's a Gran Turismo simulator driver.
Yeah.
He's like probably the best in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, because they pick one, the best one from each continent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we follow his story, and then he gets an invitation to do tryouts for Nissan, to grab a spot in the GT Academy. And from there on, it's just a fantastic journey of how he overcomes every obstacle and every goal he has on mind. He gets to have his license after, I don't know how many tries that he fails and he fails and he
I
fails.
think it took him like 5 races.
At least.
It was on his sixth and final race that he actually got it.
Okay, I was about to say 5 or 6, but yeah.
So yeah, he like has to struggle to get there. It wasn't easy for him. Of course, that the physical training was probably one of the hardest things he had to endure.
Yeah.
And also to be able to control his emotions during the car, because it's different to be like in a simulator in your house, very comfortable,
stress free.
Yeah, than to be in the track with all the pressure, all the other drivers, hustling.
Your life on the line.
Literally, it's life or death.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, the movie. The supporting characters are pretty good. His coach, as you said before, it gives a lot of meaning to the movie. Because we, as you said, through Jan's eyes, he's kind of reliving his career or his failed career in a way.
He's trying to like steer him away from making his own mistakes
exactly.
or the same mistakes.
Yeah. And one character I do want to mention is his dad, because like it really gives Jan's character a duality within like himself of like, you know, I want to like
purpose.
Yeah, literally, it's motivation because his dad doesn't really believe in him.
Yeah.
Which is understandable to a degree because like what he was doing was pretty insane. Like that's not common, you know.
Yeah.
So you know he kind of like didn't believe in him, and that motivated Jan to overcome everything that he went through.
Yeah.
And eventually at the end, you know, they make up pieces and you know they solve it. So yeah, like plot wise, that's pretty much about it. And what about you, Alex? What do you think of the plot?
So yeah, I'm with you guys. Basically, the standout is definitely David Harbour's Jack Salter and the actor who played Yan Martinborough. Mostly because I like is how they're like you say they're like literally mirrors of each other. Where Yan is basically what Jack Salter could have been if he didn't let his one mistake in the race for Le Mans on his final race when there was like a whole car crash accident that happened during his time that just made him quit, and he was basically trying in that moment later on after even Yan had this one accident when he was racing in Germany. He helped Jack helped Yan to like overcome it to where don't let this one crash moment like define you and what you're gonna do because it's gonna be like your biggest mistake. Basically, pick yourself
You
up
know
and be better.
what reminds me, Alex? It kind of reminds me of Cars and the relationship between Lightning McQueen and Doc. You know, because we see in the movie that Doc, you know, he got into a huge crash. He was a successful champion, and then you know, like he's like teaching McQueen how to, you know, be more humble and not like make his mistakes. You know, pretty much so.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's a good one. That's really good.
Yeah.
But and also I really do want to give a huge big standout to like the actor who played Yan, where after the crash, where he was really getting to that like raw emotion of like guilt because in that crash he actually killed a passenger, but everyone told him like, hey, it wasn't your fault, but like, yeah, he knows it wasn't his fault, but he's still the one behind the wheel that killed the passenger. So even though people say it's not his fault, the death is still going to carry on with him, and he just feels it really hard where he just kind of just shuts down, just breaks down, crying where he just doesn't want to talk to anybody. He just wants to like just be hidden and wallow in his own self pity and stuff like that. That's to me like probably like the most emotional raw moment there where it feels real and also goes with like the lesson that Jack was teaching the racers at the GT Academy. Like you make one mistake behind the wheel, it's game over. Every decision that you make matters in that moment where you cannot mess up or you will die
There's
or
no.
someone else is going to die.
You know?
Exactly. So yeah, honestly, yeah, that's the big major moments there that I like about this film and how it just feels like just more real and raw, which else really just makes the movie very even better than what I really thought it was going to be. It just really levels it. It improves it.
Yeah. It honestly blows my mind to see the movie and every step of the way to know that like a real person actually went from gaming to driving, you know, those kind of cars.
I still can't
It's
believe it.
I have to say on that point, the biggest thing for the plot for me, where as soon as this idea was introduced in the film, from that point onward, I forgot about the real world. I was completely immersed, and that was basically when they started talking about the 24 hours of Le Mans. Because
yeah.
like I said earlier, I don't know a lot about racing, but I do know about the 24 hours of Le Mans, and that whoever came up with the idea of this race in general is a complete nut job because the race you're going over 300 miles an hour for a continuous 24 hours in a team of 4 or 3 actually. It's just insane. And the fact that now this is what he did, like the kid who came from sim racing, I mean, I truly like that was the. I promise you, it was the. It was never. It was like I want to say it was the last thing I expected, but it wasn't even the last thing I expected. It
Yeah.
was like so far
So
out.
real, so
It's
real.
insane,
Yeah.
and I just kept asking you during the movie. I was like, did this actually like? Did they
Yeah,
add the
yeah,
Le Mans race just for cinematic purposes?
right.
And as soon as the movie ends, you see that him on the podium at Le Mans in real life, and
Hmm.
I lost it. I lost it. I cannot believe that happened. That race is insane. Period. Him doing that at that race is insane.
It's even,
Period.
yeah, like,
That's still
bro.
a fun.
That's
I mean, that's still crazy because
And
I never knew about the Le Mans races, like, or I never knew about the Le Mans race and how it goes over a 24-hour period until I saw the movie Ford versus Ferrari with Christian Bale and
yeah,
Matt Damon, where I felt like they really do this over 24 hours and switch on. That is some intense racing I have ever heard or
um,
ever seen in my life. And basically, and literally, when Yan was in the race for the Le Mans for the 24-hour, my mind literally went back to Ford versus Ferrari because I'm like, that is
yeah,
absolutely crazy. And this is a kid who was literally playing sim racing for like how many, so for like thousands of hours for like so many years, and he's doing like this. This is like the ultimate test to prove how much of a racer you are and to prove that you belong with the professionals.
it's literally the most insane and most ultimate motorsports race in all of motorsports. Like, don't it doesn't matter if you race these types of cars or Formula One or like bikes or NASCAR, like any type of racing. Like, the 24 Hours of Le Mans is the pinnacle.
it's the goat.
It's
Yeah,
literally the pinnacle
yeah.
because it's not just a race. It's also like an endurance test, like the most insane endurance test ever. Because I mean, you have to be up. You have shifts, but you still have to. You're attentive, and you're
Constantly, yeah, yeah.
that 24 hours. You're locked in. You know. So I don't know. I could go about this for the rest of this video because it truly is just mind blowing. I think that really took it over the top for me. It was already crazy, but when that came, like I said, once that was introduced into this film, I was fully immersed and I
Yeah.
lost all sense of anything outside of this movie and was just glued to the screen and yeah and
And
what a
again,
great feeling when he was at the top.
it's like if like real drivers, struggled for Le Mans. Imagine like him.
Right,
That's
first time
like
racing it, they got on podium. Still racing.
after having a car crash. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
honestly
mean truly,
insane.
the fact that maybe the fact that this happened really just makes is even crazier than how good the movie is,
For real. Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
with that being said, I think we should now pivot to some of the technical aspects in this movie. For example, some of the sound design, some of the visual effects that were used. For me personally, I think our experiences will differ here a little bit with me and Jorge and you, Alex, because we saw it in Dolby. So I think the sound design for us and you tell us. I mean, I don't know how your experience was, and you'll let us know. But for us at least, we both agreed this was definitely some of the best sound design we've seen or we've heard in a racing movie in a
Yeah.
while, if not ever. I don't know. Like, I can't really recall one. This is my first racing movie
Mm.
in a Dolby theater. I will say that, apart from Fast and Furious, but I don't
Okay.
really consider it the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it truly was like really, really, really good. And it actually in the end credits showed how they recorded each of the cars' sound.
Yeah.
So I really think that shines, and you could really feel that. I mean, it really was a highlight. But for me, from the beginning of the movie to the end, I thought a major positive was all of the visual effects, like with all the kind of integration of like the Gran Turismo video game and the real world, and going in and out of that and kind of gluing them together, and how they did that. I think that was like done very tastefully, and
Yeah.
the best part about it is I think it was done correctly, which is good because I think it would have been very easy to mess up, and I
True.
definitely think that they didn't. I think they did a great job with that. I think as a video game movie is concerned, this is actually a better movie from PlayStation Studios than the Uncharted one.
It
oh,
is. Yeah.
it
Yes.
definitely is for sure.
I don't know. I
Yes.
don't know if it's gonna be as successful as Uncharted,
Right.
but personally, I definitely think it's a much better movie for
Sure.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely
Especially,
think the
and I
story is way better, honestly, than what it was for Uncharted. Really.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure. And I've never played the Gran Turismo games. I will say that I have, but I've never owned them. I should say I
Same.
played them maybe at like friends' houses and stuff. Was never. I'm just not a big racing game fan. But like I could just tell like it has so much from the game in the
Yeah.
movie. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what about you guys?
Well, I mean, you kind of like said the most important technical aspect of the movie, which was the sound design. As you said, to me, it was so immersive in
Mm,
the Dolby Theater.
yes.
You could feel the shifts in the gears. You
Yeah.
could feel the brakes. You could feel the adrenaline of John in the car. Like it's
Bro,
like
I started floating when his car started floating on that
when he had
crash.
the car crash. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because the sound just like went
It
to
faded away.
silent
Yeah,
so
yeah.
easily, and it kind of is almost like the sound made the same movement as the car did when it came up
Kind of.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, if you get what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
like it just felt so in sync.
And it feels like time stops, you know. So you're like
Yeah,
just like paralyzed in the moment
yeah.
till like everything unfolds,
I
you
kept
know.
telling you, I was like, please tell me he's gonna wake up from a dream. Like, there's because it was so unexpected.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was honestly thinking that this is not real, you know. He's imagining it, you know, or
Yes.
something. And
Yeah.
then like we realized it
It
was
happened.
real,
Yeah.
very real.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sound design was just like top tier, you know, like amazing. To me, another very good aspect of the movie was the cinematography. I
Mm-hmm.
think like the cinematography in this movie was fantastic. The camera shots, the landscapes
The
they had,
drone
the
shots.
drone shots, like following the cars in the tracks. Like to me, it was so like good, and I really like the close-ups in Jan's character whenever he was racing, because
Yes.
you could see like his eyes and like you know the moment he was going through his eyes, you know. So
Yes.
I really
That's a
like
great
the
point.
camera work, fantastic to me.
Yeah. Can't
But
believe
yeah,
I didn't say that. But you're right. I agree 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, what about you, Alex?
Well, yeah, since I wasn't in like in Adobe Theater for the theater where I'm at, I will say I agree with you guys on how like the visual shows are changing, where it shows like the seamless transitioning insertion
yeah,
of like reality and like the video game elements in Gran Turismo. Because like I thought it was pretty seamless, especially when Yan is racing or is in a car, and then he's kind of going to like since like he's had so much experience in like the Gran Turismo simulator gaming and stuff like that where he kind of has a feel understanding of the car since like Gran Turismo since the Gran Turismo game is like actually use like the real cars to get that real good feel of like how it is to actually drive a race car. I like how there's a seamless transition with Yan driving and him using like going to like this gamer vision or like gamer mode of
yeah,
how he kind of sees it through like the lens of like the Gran Turismo game and how he like drives and how he tries to plan his way of getting through to win a race or get past
Yeah.
his opponents, stuff like that. It felt like very seamless, and you can definitely tell the elements of the Gran Turismo game are in there, which makes it. Which honestly, I actually love those parts where he actually gets into that gamer mode because, like, we're gamers, we've played some games like that, so like, we all want to see things like in our own way. We see video games stuff like that, and the fact that the movie went there and also showcasing that there's still a Gran Turismo game based off the game, and it's real life. We can still find a way to like, just make it seamless and just try to work it in a in a tasteful way that doesn't feel like it's like trying to be something else or try to distract you from what's happening.
yeah, 100%. I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. But to wrap it up, I think the end of this movie, right after the last bit of the film actually ends, but the credits still haven't come up, where they basically show some of these pictures, scenes, and videos of what actually occurred in real life were really special to see, especially because I think we all came into it with the same amount of knowledge, which was basically little to none about the actual true story. Getting some of that curtain peeled back and seeing that the Le Mans race really happened, that his dad, that picture with his dad when he was a little boy with the
Oh
Ferrari
yeah,
was like a real
Mhm.
thing. His dad playing for a soccer team and having these
yeah,
trophies and stuff, like, there was a lot of truth and a lot of realness in this movie. I think that was so cool to see. And again, so crazy that this actually really happened. And I think it said Yan has raced over 200 races to this day now.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
So
it
he's
has.
fully involved.
Yeah, and to mention something else, he like the real Jan was the stunt double in the movie.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
all the scenes, which is like mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
like wow.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that was cool. Like, it really shows how much he really cares for the racing, and also wants to feel the authenticity of this film that's being presented as well. Because I think he also
Yeah.
said he was also executive producer on this film too. I believe so.
Really
I think so.
Interesting.
It said in the credits, I think.
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
And one other interesting thing that I found out about is that in the movie, when Yan has that crash in Germany and actually killed a civilian watcher standby, that actually
Yep.
happened to the real Yan. But in real life, the crash happened 2 years after he had raced in Le Mans.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
But the
Interesting.
thing is that when making the film, the real Yan actually said that he wanted to have that moment put in the film because he felt that it would have been a disservice not to include that, since that was probably one of the most significant parts of his life and in his career as a racer. So think
Right.
that him actually willing to put that scene in there also showcased like how much it really is important as safety to be a race car driver and to understand the dangers to be like in that world. And I think that's what shows like how much of a responsible and caring person that the real Yan probably is in real life, since he was really willing to like just have that scene out there and just have like the actor portraying him to just go all in on that emotional aspect core in his major moment.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, for sure. I didn't know that. But that's really cool to know. Definitely glad they added it for cinematic purposes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
helps a lot.
It definitely added a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, but I think that's where we'll end it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, please consider subscribing. We bring videos to you every week reviewing movies and TV shows. If you like this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up down there. And did you see Gran Turismo? Are you going to see Gran Turismo? Please let us know in the comments. We would love to know and chat Gran Turismo with you guys down there. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in a couple days for another video. This is the Big Screen Show, and we'll see you guys soon.